This came at a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. This is one that I did not expect coming. I made a video yesterday talking about who's likely to fight Justin Gaethje in a couple of weeks, and I did not expect it to be Rafael Fiziev. I thought it was going to be like Moicano, maybe Ilia Topuria or Dustin Poirier, but maybe that weight cut is a little bit too immediate, and maybe they weren't, trying to cut all that weight in like literally a couple of weeks. But Rafael stepped up, man, and I didn't think that Rafael Fiziev was gonna get this matchup because, of course, we've seen this before, and we saw Rafael Fiziev absolutely get torched. And the last time he fought Justin Gaethje, and I just didn't think it was a real option. But apparently, this fight is going down. It's gonna be a 3 round fight. Um, this is going to be a crazy matchup for Rafael Fiziev because if he manages to beat someone like Justin Gaethje, I mean, honestly, he's a very exciting type fighter. I mean, obviously, whenever he's not injured, he does perform pretty well with the fans. The fans love his style because he is a very striking, heavy guy. Of course, he's a coach over at Tiger Muay Thai. This guy is exciting as it gets in terms of striking. Um, who knows if he's able to beat someone like Justin Gaethje because Justin Gaethje already beat him once. Let's go ahead and talk about this image or this tweet here that Justin Gaethje made because I think that it's pretty interesting. He said Armand and Charles understandably said no because like a fight away from fighting for the title. If not, they're next up. Max and Dustin understandably said no because maybe the weight cut. Of course, Max already beat him. Dustin is in his last fight in the UFC. Probably doesn't want to fight Justin Gaethje. Moicano got the call and said no, which is very interesting because from my understanding, Moicano actually called out Justin Gaethje, but for some reason he didn't take the fight. Anyways, props to Fiziev for volunteering to fly across the world and take this fight. Big risk here for me taking this rematch against the elite striker. Life's a trip. Best live on earth going down. Best live on show Best live show on earth going down March 8th. Very interesting tweet here. Like I said, I thought that Moicano was probably one of the most realistic matchups for Justin Gaethje after we found out that Hooker was out. If we look at Rafael's resume, there is some pretty interesting things to go over that people need to consider whenever, they're going to be making their picks for this fight. Number one, he lost against Mateusz Gamrot. He suffered an injury. He got a torn ACL. Athletes, period, just don't come back performing the same after suffering an ACL tear. It doesn't matter what sport it is, sports, period. Athletes just don't come back looking, moving the same. It's just absolutely sad to watch, top level athletes not being able to do what they usually in their respective sport because of an injury. So just keep that in mind. Rafael Fiziev coming from a major, major, major. And of course, we know that his last fight previous to that was against Justin Gaethje, where we saw him get it absolute torch. Well, not torch, but he did. Justin Gaethje did have a lot of success in that matchup. So based on the last two fights, where Justin Gaethje more or less understands how Rafael Fiziev is going to approach this fight, and of course, Mateusz Gamrot uh, beat him as well because Rafael Fiziev went and got that ACL tear during the fight. I mean, it's just a lot stacked up against Rafael Fiziev. He's going to feel a lot of pressure because he's probably looking to finish this fight, looking to go get a win. I think with all that stacked up against Rafael Fiziev, my honest opinion, it's kind of hard to know, go against Justin Gaethje here. I think Justin Gaethje is probably going to end up getting the dub in this fight, but there's a lot of interesting going on with Rafael Fiziev. And there's that factor there. He hasn't fought in over a year. So maybe there might be some evidence of ring rust as well. There's just a lot of things going on with Rafael Fiziev. Honestly, my respect to him for taking on someone like Justin Gaethje. With all those things stacked up against him, he's still only 31 years old. In the peak of his physical prime. So anything could really happen. I mean, we're really not gonna know how Rafael is performing in the UFC until we see him in the first round against Justin Gaethje, and hopefully we don't see him get another injury in this fight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna move on to some other news. The UFC just announced the UFC Kansas City headliner, and that's gonna be Rountree, a very interesting fight. Both of these guys are southpaws. Whenever we do have southpaws fighting against each other, usually it is a counter punching fight. So that's what I expect to see. I expect to see Jamal Hill and Khalil Rountree pretty much battle for position. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting fight. I feel like Jamal Hill in his last fight against Jiri Prochazka on the round before he got knocked out, he was actually doing pretty damn well. I would argue that he actually won the round against Jiri Prochazka, obviously, round before he got knocked out. And of course, we know that Khalil Rountree had some very good moments against arguably the most dangerous striker in the entire organization. Going to be interesting one. I can't really say that one fighter has a dominant attribute over the other. Although I will say that Jamal Hill has some very questionable footwork, some very questionable fundamentals. Bill Rountree, I think is defensive sometimes. Yeah, defensive sometimes. I think that since he is like a multi uh base type fighter, he kind of lets shots just land, and I just don't think that that's all too or like MMA where you have other variables like takedowns and of course stuff like that. Not to say that we're gonna expect to see any from Hill, but I'm just saying that Khalil Rountree too defensive sometimes. Where my honest opinion, I feel like he would have a lot more success if he were literally just throw more. So with some of the that I'm seeing, very interesting matchup. Like I said, two southpaws. It is gonna be a counter fight, a counter punching fight. Um, it's a coin toss, in my honest opinion. I really don't know who has the advantage. Maybe it's Jamal Hill because color could probably land from a. But if Khalil Rountree is able to pretty much bait Jamal Hill into coming side and find easy position, might see Rountree knock Jamal Hill out. But let me know what you guys think about this fight down in the comment section below. But that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you guys surprised it's Rafael Fiziev that's getting the shot against Justin Gaethje? Like I said, I need to reiterate this. If Rafael Fiziev able to have a successful fight against Justin Gaethje and somehow freaking wins, it's going to be very interesting for the lightweight division because, as we know, Justin Gaethje literally running out of time. I think he's like 35 years old, 35, 36, 37, around there. He's going into his mid 30s. He's pretty much exiting his prime. The time for him to fight for a belt, literally now or never. He needs to win this fight in a very impressive fashion, and then maybe he fight away. If not, he's up next fight for the lightweight title. But it's gonna be an interesting matchup. Of course, Rafael Fiziev manages to beat Justin Gaethje. That's gonna do big things in the lightweight division as well. And of course, for the Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree fight, I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know who you guys are predicting for this one. A very interesting matchup. The UFC is doing a lot of things right now. They're moving around a lot of pieces. A lot of stuff is going on. It's very exciting for all the MMA and UFC fans. Cannot wait to read your comments. You guys think down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. As always, is a pleasure. Peace out and have a good